3, 2, 1.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Becky and I do true crime videos. Sorry for my absence last week. I had a very important uni assignment to finish and it was worth 50% of my overall mark. If you don't know, I'm in my last year of university and I'm doing criminology, so yeah. But thank you so much for showing all your constant support. It means a lot to me. I hope everybody is getting prepared for spooky season or Halloween, and if you're celebrating it and going out this year, what are you going to be dressing up as? I'm going to go as Audrey Hepburn and then Fiona from Shrek, so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully I will look as glam as Audrey Hepburn, but we'll see. I'll stop rambling now. The case that we're going to mention today, it's a little bit graphic. I'll mention all of the trigger warnings like I usually do. And if you can't watch today's video, hopefully I will see you in the future video. I hope everybody is staying happy, safe, and healthy. Today's case, we will be talking about Harry Jarvis and how he ended up murdering his wife of 30 years, Carol. This video will definitely show that you can't trust anybody, and two, love and greed can be dangerous things. But without further ado, let's get into today's video. Harry Jarvis was working as a bus driver in London where he would meet Carol, who was still a schoolgirl. They met in 1977 and she was just 15 years old. Jarvis had also been convicted of fraud, deception, and embezzlement in England and had served several prison terms. Their relationship was very frowned upon, and Carol's family were not happy. The couple were soon married and quickly started a family. The first 3 children were each a year apart. When their eldest son was in primary school, the family moved to Bathgate, which is in Scotland. Carol absolutely loved Scotland. She became a brownie leader and was known to be a perfect mother. She would always have the children's back and loved to take care of her kids. Carol was a dedicated wife and she trusted Jarvis. However, in the year 2000, 9 years before the murder, Carol was just 38 and she was diagnosed with a degenerative muscle condition which left her in a wheelchair. Due to Carol not being able to look after the family, Jarvis had to give up his job in order to care for Carol and the family. They received benefits. At the start, Jarvis did a good job looking after Carol, however, that changed. Before Carol got ill, Jarvis would always go on what the family would call missing episodes. It could be for a day or a week. This only got worse when Carol became bedbound. Jarvis used Carol's benefits and scrounged for cash to spend on booze and cigarettes from their own children. He would only return when he would need more money for alcohol, and allegedly he was drinking a bottle of whiskey a day. The police officers who worked on the case described Jarvis as very manipulative, a controlling man, and a pathological liar. He thought he knew everything, he tried to con people, and he did con people over several years. Instead of caring for his unwell wife or the family, when Jarvis vanished for days or weeks on end, he was often looking for company, or allegedly visiting lovers. He also used online websites to find women. Rita Heyster met Jarvis online in 2008. Heyster inherited and blew a $2.5 million fortune. Heyster from Coldstream in the Borders inherited this wealth from her adopted father, the Just Roll founder, Tommy Forsyth. She fell on hard times and spent the cash before starting an affair with Jarvis. Heyster's wealth drew Jarvis in. He seized his chance to keep Heyster close to him after she lost control of her large house, following a deal to sell it and rent it back. Heyster actually really loved Jarvis. She wanted a relationship with him. However, Jarvis was way more interested in Heyster's money than her love. He boasted to a local barmaid that he was going to bleed her dry. He took advantage of Heyster when she was in a vulnerable position. The only person in his way to obtaining Heyster's wealth was Carol. As a result of pure greed, he started to plan Carol's murder. Heyster moved to Bathgate and stayed in bed and breakfasts. However, it got too expensive. Coming up with another plan, Jarvis moved Heyster into the tiny shed in his garden. The shed was just big enough to put a mattress on the floor. Heyster's only other comforts were a pillow, a bowl, a toilet roll, and a duvet. This was believed to be the one later used to wrap Carol's body. Heyster's head would be just 4 feet away from where Carol's head would have been if she were in bed asleep. There were also electricity cables running from the house into the shed. Jarvis tried to keep Heyster's presence a secret from his daughter, Kimberly, who was 19 at the time. However, she worked out that someone was definitely living in the shed. Carol also knew that Jarvis was cheating on her time and time again, but she loved her husband and always forgave him after he cheated. Her children did know that there was an affair going on. However, they had no idea that this affair would result in Carol's death. Jarvis kept Carol heavily medicated on sleeping pills, and at the time, the kids never questioned the medication that Jarvis was giving their mom, as they trusted Jarvis to take care of Carol. Between September 11th and September 18th, Jarvis told a series of excuses and lies to try and cover up Carol's disappearance. He claimed she was visiting her GP or was asleep. Once he even tried to claim that Carol, who was really unwell, had gone to the pub with her 2 kids. On September 14th, Jarvis's son, Kevin, called the house and was shocked to find that there was no sign of his mom. When Kevin questioned his dad, Jarvis snapped. He said, "Who do you think you are, Columbo?" Obviously, Kevin and the other siblings wanted to know where their mom was. It just wasn't adding up. So, Kevin, Susan, Graham, and Kimberly decided to call the police and report their mother missing. When the officers arrived at the house, they found Heyster hiding under one of the beds. Jarvis claimed that she was his wife. One of the police officers went outside to tell the children that their mom was safe. But the other officer who knew the family told Jarvis, "I've met your wife before. Why are you telling me lies?" Jarvis then claimed his wife was staying in Dundee, and the police gave him 24 hours to produce Carol. But instead of obviously producing Carol, he fled with Heyster to Perth, where they stayed in a bed and breakfast. They were arrested after running off without paying their bill. Police got a search warrant for the Bathgate house, and they found Carol's body. Carol's life was taken away from her at 47 years old, and the death could not be determined due to the decomposition to her body. However, Jarvis claimed that she died of a fit before he buried her at home, to be close to her. Carol's body was found in a space about 3 feet in height through a small trap door. She was wrapped in a duvet cover, bound in parcel tape, and pushed up against a corner of the space underneath the floor. One of the detectives said, "If you can imagine a skip where people would dump their unwanted belongings, their trash, that's what it was like under the floor. It was full of debris, books, old items of house equipment, and Carol was squeezed into that space with some of the stuff just dumped on top of her." Allegedly, Jarvis would go down and lie beside Carol and speak to her because he found it very difficult to be without her. Jarvis's excuse was that she died of a fit. However, notes discovered by police revealed Jarvis planned to move Heyster into his home after he had killed Carol. Whilst Heyster was living in the garden shed, Jarvis kept her up to date on his plot to murder Carol. In a series of twisted love letters, Jarvis told Heyster, "The drugs are doing the job, just took longer than I thought, but going fast now. See you in paradise soon." Another one said, Carol is dying as I write. Then we have the house to ourselves and sell all in it to move on. Dangerous times, but we'll get there. Heyster replied to one of the notes, I really can't take this another minute. I am so in love with you and want to be with you. I so need you to hold me. In the notes, Jarvis referred to Heyster as Princess Margarita. He wrote in one of his letters, 2 hearts separated by a couple of feet. I love you and will not let you down. You will always be my girl. This really gives us an insight and truly shows you what Jarvis and Heyster are like. It's just sick. Forensic evidence linked Heyster to the parcel tape that had been wrapped around Carol's body. Carol's DNA was also found under Heyster's fingernails. Jarvis was jailed for a minimum of 15 years in 2011. Heyster was also found guilty of attempting to defeat the ends of justice, which just means basically helping Jarvis to hide the body. There was not enough evidence to tie her directly to the murder. She was sentenced to 4 years and 6 months. At trial, Jarvis claimed that Heyster and him were no more than friends. However, in 2015, the pair planned to marry behind bars, but just a month later, Heyster called off the wedding. Graham, one of Carol's sons, said that he will never be able to forgive his father for killing his mother at their family home in 2009. He said he can never fully accept the actions of his dad and will never know the true reason behind it. Jarvis died in prison in April 2017, aged 67. His reason of death was heart failure. My heart really goes out for Carol's children. It's just heartbreaking to think they've never gotten an explanation because Jarvis didn't want to tell them. I honestly can't imagine what that feels like, but I really hope that Kevin, Susan, Graham, and Kimberly are doing okay, and my thoughts are with them. Thanks for watching today's video, and I hope you stay tuned for more in the future. I hope everybody stays safe, happy, and healthy. See you later. Bye!